The following audio may contain the personal testimonials of Take Shape for Life health coaches or clients. The results relayed in these messages are based on the unique experiences of the participants, and we cannot guarantee like or similar outcomes. While you may be inspired by these accounts, please note that any stories of success have not been verified, and your individual path to healthy living and weight loss will vary. As always, it is our recommendation that you consult with a physician before starting a weight loss program. Yours in health, the Take Shape for Life team.
Welcome everyone to the Habits of Health call, and we are just so excited to be here with everybody, and just want to see everyone on, and let's give a shout out. If you haven't found the chat feature yet, you can chat from your computer or from your cell phone. Go ahead and throw in the chat just where you're coming from, your city and state. And let's just see who we have on tonight so far while we're getting going and allowing a few more people to join us. So, okay, we see Michigan. We have, what is that, Montana?
Massachusetts.
That's MT is Montana. New York, Bountiful, Utah, California, Texas. Awesome, lots of New Yorkers. Well, thanks so much for joining us. So this call is for lots of different types of people. So we have clients, we have health coaches, health professionals, or sometimes even people who are just checking out Take Shape for Life. So we're Amber and Jarrod Smithson certified health coaches, and we're just glad that everyone has hopped on tonight and given us a little bit of your time to learn a little bit more about the habits of health. So we are going to go ahead and share the screen again. All right, there we go. So tonight we're going to be talking about balancing your fork. And that doesn't mean that you like balance it on your nose or on your finger or anything like that. But we're going to be going over some strategies for long-term health. And later on, you know, probably most of us on this call are familiar with Dr. A's Habits of Health book. That's a curriculum that we use in Take Shape for Life. So if you want to review chapters 8 through 12 later on to just kind of cement some of the things we'll be talking about, I think that that's a really great idea. So let's go ahead and get going. So this is us. You want to start?
Sure, I'll start. So a bunch of years ago, about 12 years ago, she started getting healthy. And I was trying to get along for the ride, but I was an athlete my whole life, played high school, college basketball, and I came to a point where exercise, what I'd been doing my whole life, it wasn't fun anymore. It was kind of a loss of identity for me, and because I hadn't learned healthy habits to go along with the exercise. So that fork balancing thing, I was trying to outrun my fork. And it wasn't working. So from the time we got married, I weighed 175 pounds when we got married. I'm 6'2". Didn't get on the scale for a bunch of years. And the next time I did get on the scale, I was 228 pounds. I knew that I was getting heavier, right? Because I had to buy bigger clothes and I could see in the mirror and stuff like that. But I didn't know how bad it was. But I returned to my old ways of exercising a lot. 2 hours a day, 6 days a week, lost 25 pounds in 15 months. And then I followed that up by an awesome 9-month plateau. It was actually really probably 9 months of the most frustration in my life. And then my mother-in-law, who became my health coach, she's like, Jarrod, just give it a shot. And I'm like, okay, with all my skepticism, I hop on the Take Shape for Life program, hop on the 5-in-1, lost my last 25 pounds a lot faster in a little over a month. And better than that, I started to feel like I did 20 years previous. I got rid of, as a result of getting healthier, I stopped snoring, stopped acid reflux, chronic headaches, dropped my cholesterol, my blood pressure, everything down. And I was so grateful for such a simple process that I could get in front of my fork, right? Actually, I didn't have to use a fork at all. I could just open up a bar. That was the secret for me.
The secret sauce right there. And you know, I showed this picture. I lost 35 pounds almost 12 years ago, but I like to show this picture because this was last year after I had a tonsillectomy, and you know, I went through this surgery and it was kind of hard. It was kind of terrible, and I gained some weight and was just kind of struggling and trying to get back on track. And I wanted to give people just a frame of reference that Take Shape for Life, we're never done. And sometimes stuff happens in your life where you're not perfect. You're not perfect, and it's okay. That sometimes you need to go back in weight loss phase for a little bit, or sometimes you need to clean up your eating or reevaluate your habits and how things are going. And that's totally normal, you guys. A lot of times people will look at Jarrod or myself and think, oh, it's so easy for them. And you know, you're always working on it. You're never done. So that's why I put this picture up instead of the one where I lost 35 pounds. That was 8 pounds, but the 8 pounds made a big difference in how I felt and my energy levels and things like that. Okay, I want to make sure that, okay, Damon, you've seen these slides advance. It says optimal health right now. Give me a thumbs up. I can see you on my screen. Okay, good. I have some troubles with this computer sometimes. So what we do in Take Shape for Life, healthy body, healthy mind, healthy finances, all of these affect each other. And, you know, we really offer simple, safe nutrition plans. And a lot of times people think it's only the 5-in-1, but it's not. We have tons of plans. The active plan for 4 and 2, maintenance plans 3 and 3. We have plans for teens and nursing moms and diabetics and seniors. And there's a lot of different options. So, and
most of us will be on several different plans during our life. I started out on the 5-in-1, transitioned to a 4 and 2 when I started to add back in more exercise. And for 7 years, I've basically been living a 3 and 3 lifestyle for convenience. And I know what I'm putting in my body is premium fuel. So it just makes it simple and easy.
Yeah, I love that. And the health lifestyle system, I mean, that's what we're talking about in this call, the habits of health. And that's really where the rubber meets the road, because honestly, you melt away on any of our weight loss plans. It's like magic. But really what makes the biggest difference is making sure that your mindset changes and that you're thinking long-term and that you're making these habits stick for life. Again, you're never done. But it's just a constant, it's a journey, and it's a fun journey. It's something to look forward to.
Yeah, the stuff that goes on inside of your head oftentimes feels like more weight. So I tell people all the time that I lost 25 pounds on the Take Shape for Life 5-in-1 program, but in the last 7 years, I've lost like 1,000 pounds between my ears. So, and a lot of that has to do with the third aspect, and that's a personal health coach. Working and always having a stable support system around you is really important, not just during weight loss. I think it's actually almost more critical when you move into the transition and continuing to optimize your health, because you don't want to just, you didn't arrive, you didn't achieve just this end goal because you have to wake up the next morning and continue to live healthy habits if you want to continue to live at a healthy weight.
So really, you know, reaching that healthy weight, that's number 2 right here on the 1 out of 6, you know. So I love this visual because it really puts it in perspective. A lot of times people think, oh, I reached that number on the scale, I'm all done. But it's really 2 out of 6. I mean, you're a third the way there, right? There's transition, learning the habits of health, optimizing for your age, and just doing it for the long haul. Whee! Okay, so let's use that chat feature again. I want to see who's on the call. So put in the chat whether you are a client, a coach, both. Hopefully you're a coach, you're also a client, or if you are a guest. So go ahead. Oh, we got lots of clients, both. Coach, but always a client. That's what I like to see. Health coach and client. Awesome. So I love to see who's on the call, who we're talking to tonight. So thanks so much. Keep those coming in for a little bit longer. So let's just dive into our topic. So while we're talking about these things, I want you to be thinking in two different frames of mind. Okay. The first frame of mind is, how am I doing right now with this habit? Okay. So that's the first. How am I doing right now? And then the second frame of mind is, what do I do when I'm not in a weight loss phase? Because I'll tell you what, we've done this 7 years, and sometimes you have those clients you work with who are they're pros, right? They are professional dieters. Like when they're on a diet, they're like 100%, like it's all black and white, and they're all white. Like they are just professional. But then as soon as they feel like they're not on a diet, it's like, woo, it's the other end of the spectrum. So I want you to think of it in those two frames. So one, how you're doing right now, and how do you do on this habit when you're not in weight loss phase? Okay. So
number one of the healthiest habits we can do, and this was one of the biggest changes I had to make in my life, wake up and eat breakfast. You're breaking the fast. You've been fasting while you've been eating. Your blood sugar is low. To get that metabolism going and keep it going, you want to raise that blood sugar back up to a baseline, to a healthy level, so that you don't get those crazy insulin responses.
Absolutely. Eating every 2 to 3 hours. So when we're on one of the weight loss phases and Take Shape for Life, it's pretty simple, right? It's grab and go, open a wrapper, like you're set. But then when you're not in weight loss phase, how are you doing on eating every 2 to 3 hours? Or do you go back to the sumo wrestler diet where you save all your calories till dinner or the end of the day and eat them all at once?
Small protein carb balance meals. Every single meal, every time you eat, you want that protein carb balance.
And what about water? Are you a professional water drinker? Right here, yep. I don't have my water with me, like I kind of get anxiety. Like you know how you leave your cell phone and when you're going somewhere and you go back and get it? I'm like that with my water and my cell phone. It's like I should make a sign. Cell phone, check. Water, check. Food, check. So let's talk a little, oh, that's a typo. Education matters. It's okay. We're gonna just keep going. I typed that quickly earlier.
Mater's pretty funny though.
Mater is good. Do you know people have lost weight and then gained it back? So we talked about this earlier, that it's so important to really spend some time each week on your education. You know, are those books like tattered and worn? And here's one of our books right here. You know, like it's all peeling up on this corner, and these pages are all like marked up, and like we had it spiral bound. Is your book getting usage as a book, not as a doorstop, right?
Or a paperweight or something.
Right. So really, even if you devote 10 minutes to your education, just makes the biggest difference. And you guys on this call right now, whether you're live or you're watching in playback, congratulations, because guess what? You are doing yourself a huge favor in rewiring your brains by just being part of the community and really focusing on that.
Rewiring your brains is actually really cool. There's this term called neural plasticity, where our brains change shape just like our bodies do. When we're in weight loss, when we're losing weight, we're shaping our bodies through exercise and in continual movement. Our brains, by forming new habits, we're changing the shape of our brains just like we are our bodies. Yeah, we might not be getting the bigger chest and skinny waist and stuff like that. You just want those new curvatures and synapse firing off.
So let's talk a little bit about the science behind 6 small meals. And I actually love this. This was one of my favorite things when I read the Habits of Health book. So they did a study at the University of Toronto, and that they've been pioneers in low glycemic eating at David Jenkins there at University of Toronto. And they took 2 different groups of people, and both of the groups, they ate the same foods, the same number of calories, but one of the groups, they broke it up into 6 small meals, the other more traditional breakfast, lunch, dinner. And I always point this out again. They eat the same foods, not just the same calories, because that could make a big difference.
Yep.
If you ate, 2,000 calories of Oreos versus 2,000 calories of chicken and salad, like that's a big difference. So they ate the same foods. And the group that broke their meals up into 6 small meals a day, they lost more weight than the traditional group. They were less hungry. They reduced their cholesterol by 15% over the other group and reduced their blood insulin by 28% over.
Yeah, and look at the differences in that glucose insulin response curve in those two graphs. On the left is that looks like a pretty good American diet right there, right? Orange juice for breakfast, bagel, hamburger and soft drink, candy bar, huge meal for dinner and stuff. I mean, I can't tell you how many people I've talked to over the years that they run by a gas station, fill up their car on the way to work, they grab a pastry and maybe a coffee or a juice. Red Bull. Yeah, and they actually buy 2 Red Bulls or 2 Monsters, because one for the morning drive in, and then they have one for the crash in the afternoon, right?
So it's coming.
It's coming. But we want our blood sugar and our insulin response to look like the one on the right, where we're keeping it near a baseline insulin and baseline glucose, where that's really going to keep you from going into starvation or preservation mode. So your body's not going to be storing excess energy as fat.
Yeah, it's extremely important. So like I said, 2 frames, okay? How are you doing with this now? And how are you doing with this habit when you're not in weight loss phase? And always be thinking that, because you're not going to be in weight loss phase forever, you guys. Like that's not good to be in weight loss phase forever. And so really thinking ahead of time. These are the habits. You're learning these things. If you're in weight loss phase or not, you're learning these things with the Take Shape for Life program. It's for the long term.
The result of that that's really cool is many people think that, oh, I need to go and eat a lot of calories or carb load or something like that to have enough energy. But when we treat our bodies correctly and fuel them properly, our bodies utilize the energy better rather than just storing it as fat. So you actually have more energy on less calories.
Yeah. It's a cool thing. Our bodies are amazing machines if we treat them correctly.
Yeah.
So let's talk a little bit about glycemic index. Again, grab this book later and review this, because we're not going to go over everything, but open it up to chapter 9 and you're going to find all these charts. You can also find them on habitsofhealth.net. You can download them. It's really cool. But let's just point out something on here. Dr. A has a saying. He says, stay in the green and stay lean. So even when you're not in a weight loss phase, where maybe you're not including fruits, for example, even when later on after weight loss phase, try to choose the fruits that are more in the green level. So blackberries, for example, is at 25 on the glycemic index out of 100. 100 is pure glycogen. Like if you were at the hospital and they hook you up to the IV, like pumping, that's like 100, right?
Yeah. Glucose going right into your blood.
That's right. But if you look here, blueberries are a 53. They're a higher glycemic fruit. So it's just good to be conscious. It's not to say you can never eat blueberries, but to just be very conscious of it and making sure that you're pairing a higher glycemic fruit with some protein, or maybe a fruit salad where you're mixing them all up with lower glycemic options as well. And then 100 calorie fueling breaks. This is so important. This is another great thing to know after weight loss phase, is that there's a lot of different options. One of them, top of the list, is our meal replacements. I mean, I am a label reader, and I'll tell you what, I have never come across something with as much nutrition for as low calories. You get the biggest bang for your buck for your calories, that have as much protein and fiber and vitamins and minerals. I'm telling you, I haven't found it yet. That's why, I mean, I'm a believer. So, but here's a whole list of other 100 calorie fueling breaks, and you can find the list on page 120 and 121 in your Habits of Health book as well. And like I said, your meal replacement, I still eat 3 a day in maintenance. at least.
At least.
So true.
Depends on how busy I am.
Okay, let's go over to the chat feature again. Here's a question. So just give your best guess, and you might see other people put it in, and then but you don't know if they're right or not. So how many calories to burn 1 pound of fat? We have some guesses here: 3,500, 3,000, 3,545, 3,600. Okay, we got some great guesses here. Should you tell us the answer?
Oh, everybody knows the answer.
Yep.
3,500.
3,500.
And the crazy thing about that is Dr. A in Habits of Health, in one of his little boxes, he talks about what it takes to burn that, right?
Yeah, and we're going to talk about that a little bit later on.
Oh, we are?
Yeah.
You can survey people again.
That's another survey.
Oh,
I'm like,
nice.
don't ruin
Awesome.
it. Oh, but before we have a story, we asked someone to share their story, but before we bring him on, I want to just give you another visual for after weight loss. You can tell we're talking a lot about after weight loss phase, because weight loss phase is so stinking easy that it's like you got to start thinking about it now because you're going to be there.
The cool thing about this program is everything you need to know long term, you're learning right now. You don't have to read the labels, but you kind of want to learn and see, hey, what's the carb protein ratio here? How much healthy fat do I need? And there's a whole bunch of stuff on those labels you can't read because they're all vitamins and minerals. And so it's good to know that you're getting both macro and micronutrients. But this is a simple visual. Most dinner plates are about 12 inches. But you don't have to go out and buy new plates. Just use the flat section in the middle, not the beveled sides. You don't have to have food overflowing the edge of your plate. Just use that middle section. It's crazy. Like my generation, I'm old. We had the food guide pyramid, right? And then they flipped it upside down and it still wasn't working. The country was still gaining weight. And then they flipped it back over and they changed some portion sizes. Now they have something very similar to this. It's called MyPlategov. And they just kind of copied us. So
we did have it first, so I have to agree with you. I don't know. We're going to be okay with that.
Yeah.
Really, our goal is to get America healthy, not for Dr. A to take the credit for the MyPlategov. But just a visual is half your plate with fruits and veggies, and really concentrating on those glycemic index, and then a quarter of your plate protein and a quarter starch or carbohydrates. And I think it's important to point out that those starchy veggies, those really belong in the starch, not in the fruits and veggie portion of your plate.
And even long term, to be honest, we don't put starches on our plates on a daily basis. It makes it easier to maintain weight long term when you're not adding an overage of starches, because those are really high glycemic and you're already getting really healthy carbohydrates through your fruits and vegetables.
It's true. We live a lean and green lifestyle. Not every night, but probably 80% of the time is lean and green lifestyle. Okay, so we want to bring on a client and health coach of the program, Damon Barnhurst. Are you there, Damon?
I'm here.
Awesome. Can you share with us a little bit about your story and kind of provide some inspiration for everybody on the line who's still in weight loss phase?
Yeah, most definitely. Hi, health friends. How's everybody doing? It's been a wonderful ride that I've been on, and all of us on here are on different stages and different chapters that are being written in our story. I have written some chapters that I'm pretty excited about, and I've got some new chapters that I'm working on. But let me go back just to the part where I was not feeling that great and how I became feeling better and that. So it was about November 2014. I reached out to Jarrod. Jarrod and I went back in college as friends, and we drifted apart with one another. And as life goes, with getting busy and careers and families and we were living in different states. But something pricked up my heart to reach out to him and see how he was doing. So I stalked him on Facebook and saw his before and after picture, and I saw his cute family and how they were, the things that they were doing and such. So I was kind of intrigued at what's been going on with my friend Jarrod. So I gave him a call, and he presented the ideas of this program to me. and that was in November. It was right before Thanksgiving. And so I wasn't mentally, I wasn't financially, I wasn't anywhere really thinking about health at that time. But he did kind of awaken me. And so I tried to do some things on my own. I too used to play sports and take pride in how I was able to do things with my body. But I got to a point where I wasn't able to do things that I used to do with my body. And that's not just because I was old, but that's kind of what I was telling myself, that I kind of gave up and kind of accepted where I was at. I coached soccer and I stopped running with my players and stopped playing with the players. I couldn't run. It hurt. So I did try to do my own thing. In about 2 months, I lost about 7 pounds. And granted, that was through the holidays, but I tried to watch what I ate. I tried to increase my exercise, but really I didn't have a plan. I didn't know what I was doing. So I continued to invest time in with Jarrod and talking to him and challenging him things on the program and such. And then I came to a point where, well, what am I kidding here? Here's Jarrod, who's doing a good job and he's looking great. You know, I may have thought I thought I knew what to do, but it's not exactly working all that great. So I said, all right, what do I got to do? So I took the plunge. I have 4 kids. At the time, it was only me working, and this was a teacher's salary. So it kind of seemed intimidating at first to start this program, but I didn't know enough about what I was doing, and I didn't have a plan. And when I really started budgeting it, I was spending way too much money on eating out. Really in the end, it was cost neutral for me. And if I were to look back, after about 4.5, 5 months, I lost over 50 pounds. I got my life back, started running again. I have new health goals now. They don't have to do with weight loss. They have to do with getting stronger and faster and those types of things. So it's giving me my life back. And I just, I went in to see the doctor prior to my weight loss, and I was off the charts with cholesterol and blood pressure and all these other things, and I came back after I lost over 50, and needless to say, he joined me on the health journey. My doctor was impressed with my progress, and he was what I had done, so he came on board with me to help other people get healthy. So that's just been a great blessing in our life. My wife, my kids, everything has gotten better. My finances are better. Everything's improved. When I first took that health assessment long ago, I was miserable score. Took it not too long ago, and I have increased my score in every area. So I know the program works. All of you out there that are maybe on the fence or not sure, if your coach, if you have a relationship with them and you trust them even just a tiny bit, just go for it. I would have paid more for it had I had known what happened to me. It just changed my life. So I thank you that Jarrod got over his pride and faced his health issues and listened to his mother-in-law.
That's awesome, David. It's so true, right? Thank you so much. Your story is so inspirational. I think that a lot of people can relate to you who are on this call. So, okay, this is our last little survey before we end. We have 2 more minutes, so get your chat back out. To burn this is the one Jarrod almost gave away earlier. To burn 3,500 calories, how many miles would the average person have to run? If you were changing your eating, just wanted to run your weight off, like put your guess in, how many miles would the average person have to run? Okay, we have some guesses here. We have marathon, half marathon, 35 miles. Okay, we got some smarties on here. It actually is a marathon. That's the average person.
It's 33 and a little bit of change.
Is it?
Yeah. So it's more than a marathon.
Yeah, that on average, the average person. I'll tell you what, I'm not any sort of marathon runner. I'm more of a volleyball player myself. But it's nice to know that we don't have to run a marathon, because exercise is super good for your health. I mean, great for your heart, great for your mood and your endorphins and your hormones, and has all these benefits. But I'll tell you what, is weight loss is not, that's not the way to go, to exercise your way to weight loss.
And Cheryl made a good point there. It's very, very hard on your joints and on your body, muscles, soft tissue, everything, to be exercising at a heavier weight. So I actually, when I was exercising, trying to exercise my way to health, I had a lot of injuries. So I had a lot of setbacks, pulled muscles, tendons, tendonitis, stuff like that. And then when I got to a healthy weight, I was able to up my exercise without any pain. So that's a very good point there.
Yeah, definitely. Well, thanks so much for joining us on the Habits of Health call, everyone. We hope that you gained some value tonight. And the doctor's call is starting right now. So if you have any questions that you want to ask a doctor, a medical professional, or some questions with your own program, then feel free to hop on that. I'll give you that number. Let's see, it is, where did it go? I see it, 712-832-8330, and then you have to enter a PIN 4366777. So feel free to hop on that if you have any questions for a medical professional, and thanks so much for being here.
The preceding audio may have contained the personal testimonials of some Take Shape for Life health coaches or clients. The results relayed in these messages are based on the unique experiences of the participants, and we cannot guarantee like or similar outcomes. While you may be inspired by these accounts, please note that any stories of success have not been verified, and your individual path to healthy living and weight loss will vary. As always, it is our recommendation that you consult with a physician before starting a weight loss program. Yours in health, the Take Shape for Life team.